I want to get on here with a silver update and also a political update. A little bit on politics, but not too much because my views are basically probably in a 1% of the 1%. I think outside the box all the way. And that's not good for me personally a lot of times because I go against the grain. That's the problem sometimes I have, but I guess that's my own problem. Now, I know I've been critical of Ron Paul, and I don't want to be too critical of him because basically he's a hell of a lot better than what we got out there right now. And the only thing I always said with Ron Paul, he's not strong enough. And I don't know, I have a feeling, I have a pretty damn good hunch. He's kind of like opposition that's allowed. Let's put it that way, because he's safe. He gives he channels the opposition his way, and basically it's always going to be redirected to the established politics again. Now, as far as silver, I don't want to talk about this too much because basically we know what the hell's going on. I said this a few times. I'm going to say it here real quickly. I think, well, silver's going up today, right? And oil's bouncing back up today, and the Dow's going up. What I'm thinking is going to happen in the short term is a melt up. The Dow's going to go up. The I don't know about the Nasdaq, but probably the S&P is going to go up. Oil's going to go up. Base metals are going to go up. Precious metals are going to go up. Agricultural products are going to go up, and livestock is going to go up. And that's because of QE. It's kind of like had a little bit of a breather, but this is going to happen over the next few months. I think when things are getting record highs and everybody's getting all elated, like say in very early 2013, and the Congress reconvenes for the budgets again, guess what? Guess what? That's when more of the turmoil is going to come out again, and you might see some serious pullbacks. But they're not going to pull back to the levels they're at now. So, I mean, I don't want to berate that point so many times that, you know, but I do want to repeat it here briefly in the beginning because, in a nutshell, I'm going to say is I think silver's going to hit record highs here in the next 3-4 months, and it's going to have a serious pullback below 50. You know, it's not even up to 40 yet. So what I'm thinking is it's going to go well over 55. That's what I'm thinking. Okay? And I think, you know, I'm going more by common sense than I am even like the charts. And I think the charts are all going to play out the same way. But, you know, the charts pretty much can tell you resistance points up and down. But they don't tell you when a change in direction comes out. Basically, that's you're at the mercy of other world events. In general, silver's going up, gold is going up. We all know this freaking stupid fact. It's simple. It's like, you know, idiot knows that. Anybody knows that. Silver and gold are going up in general over the next few years. Everybody freaking knows that. What I want to know is when is it going to pull back? And I'm not doing guesswork on this garbage. I'm doing more like educated calculations. And I have to go by when Congress reconvenes and it's back, you know, we have a new, you know, president or we have the same president or whatever the hell it is, that's when they're going to have to get down and roll up their sleeves and get down to nuts and bolts and iron out budgets. And I think that's going to be the problem right then and there. That we're going to see some turmoil, like Moody's maybe downgrading them and things like that, because I don't think these jerks can stop spending money, period. And if they take it out of the taxpayer, they're going to kill the economy. And I'm going to actually interject something here, too. I think Bernanke is kind of setting up. I don't know if he is or isn't, but it's going to work out this way. He's making money, Ben Bernanke, he's making money a lot more easily available for like trying to keep interest rates low so people can buy mortgages and get in homes. He's setting those suckers up for another, you know, pour your money into the bank loans and get foreclosed later on. So, you know, actually, the suggestion I would have, it's almost like you got to do like the pioneers from the West and go out to the desert and say, screw the bullshit, you know. Get yourself some solar panels or whatever the hell it is and dig yourself a well 1,000 feet down. And I don't know. That's probably not a good solution. But it's, I think, to being dependent upon Bernanke's policies, you're going to be screwed. And that is one reason you own silver and gold. So I don't know what the average American needs to do, but I could tell you I think one of the best things to do is to do things that are real and piecemeal that benefit you and get away from the entertainment and bullshit like that. Now, I want to get into some other things here. I saw this today. This was about a general Petrov. And, you know, I noticed a lot of people loved hearing this crap from this guy. And I don't want to call it crap. Basically, what he said is correct. But he's talking about the global mafia, talking about the West. But I'm going to re-emphasize again, these generals and stuff, and this Soviet, the people on top of Russia, and I'm not talking the average Russian, the people on top of Russia, are the worst mafia crap going. And I don't even want to use that word because that means it's an Italian word. These people aren't mafia, they're Russian organized crime. The whole state itself, Putin, FSB behind him and everything, is rotten right to the core, and they control all the wealth and commodities in Russia. The oil, the gold, you know, the palladium, the iron ore, the forest, the agriculture. They own it all. They own it all. They're gods in Russia, and they play the Christian card, so the peasants like support them. This guy Petrov, general, and you know, I was looking at this on YouTube, and he was like talking about a bunch of stuff, you know, about the Twin Towers being attacked and all this kind of crap, in Afghanistan and everything, and the global mafia. But you know what? The Russians are the same thing, and he's part of it. It's amazing how the average American cheers this jerk on. He's not a jerk because I think the average American is a jerk, but cheering this guy on because he's a pile of crap too. He is. I mean, you're getting off of one guy and you're saying, oh, the Wall Street banksters are no good, and you're going on with the Russian generals. They're a bunch of crooked crap too, all the way. I don't know how else to put it. They are. They are. He did say one thing interesting, and I'm going to give you a good idea of how it is in Russia, because, you know, when you go visit Russia and you go to Moscow and you see all the hot chicks on the street and you see everything, glitter lights and everything, and you're thinking, wow, man, they got a... Well, there's more billionaires in Moscow than anywhere, right? Anywhere. Moscow has the most billionaires in the world. But Russia, the average Russian doesn't have that kind of money. And, you know, he let on a little thing. He says a Russian coming to the United States that doesn't even have a job will be better off than the average hard-working Russian in Russia. So what does that tell you? The lowest people in the United States that have the least are actually doing better than the people in Russia that have jobs that are working their asses off. Because you know what they're doing? They're being bled dry for the elite on the top in Russia. It's actually worse than in the United States. See, that's why I don't get behind jerks like this. This guy's a pile of crap. And I wish more Americans would realize this instead of cheering him on, because he's a pile of crap. That's all I got to say. Now, I saw something else about it. This is more like a political thing, and it's silver. But because basically the facts with silver are there. The stuff's going up, and I think in early 2013 it's going to have a hard pullback. That's it in a nutshell. That's it in a nutshell. This girl here, Hillary Clinton, you know, this is one of my beefs about career women in the United States, too. She emphasizes, she's like the epitome of the worst of the worst. You know, back in her early days, when she was like, you know, teeny bopper or whatever the hell it was, she was one of them Barry Goldwater girls. You know, hardcore conservative Republican. Because, you know, the way I look at it, it's like whatever daddy wanted. You know, daddy, please daddy. And I don't know what the hell the deal is with this psycho, but I can tell you right now, this is one mean bitch. And you know what? Where most of, and this is, I'm being bluntly honest on this, you know where most of her support comes from? It comes from the women in the United States, not the males. It's not because she's a woman. It's like, she's a bitch. I'm going to say that right now. This lady is a mean bitch. You know, when you saw, like, Gaddafi was killed, you saw her cackle. She cackled like, you know, a witch, the Wicked Witch of the West, or the Wicked Witch of the East. Take your pick from the Wizard of Oz, right? She cackled like a witch. She says, we came, we saw, we killed him, or something like that. She laughed. Ha, ha, ha. You know, that was her. That was her. This lady, too, and it's my suspicion, my common sense suspicion. You remember John F. Kennedy Jr., who was running for the U.S. Senate in New York? What happened? His plane crashed. Now, I know there's conspiracy theories out there that was a setup. It wasn't just from the fog. And, you know, and if you look at a lot of things that happened to Bill Clinton campaign managers, what happened? You know, planes crashed in the mountainsides left and right. Well, you know, I think it would have been hands down that John F. Kennedy Jr. would have been senator and not her. Not her. So him dead, left it open for her. I don't know if she had nothing to do with it, right? I don't know. But they say the mafia did this, or that ain't the mafia. I don't know what this shit is. The mafia's got more freaking morals than that stuff, I can guarantee you right now. What she just said, though, recently, which was pretty funny, and I really think that the Illuminati must be a bunch of pussy-whipped dorks to have this broad in charge, like as the Secretary of State. And I'm being real blunt on here because I don't care. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Freaking say things I'm supposed to say? I don't play that game. I play honest. I think the Illuminati must be a bunch of pussy-whipped dorks to have this one as Secretary of State. You know why? She's a screw-up. And she's such a screw-up that recently I was just watching an interview with her, and she's talking about Iran. And she's laughing that, yeah, we should attack them. Ha, 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 ha. You know what? Even if she thinks that, she's a dumb jerk for saying it. She's a dumb jerk for saying it. Is that winning you points with the public? Hell no. She's a cocky idiot. And, it's like, I think people are afraid to freaking do anything about this broad. Period. The Illuminati, too. The Illuminati, too. They're a bunch of pussy-whipped dorks. And she's going to freaking screw up big time. Hey, I'm all for attacking Iran. No problem. I am. I don't care. They're a bunch of religious kooks running that country. As far as I'm concerned, take out the regime. Don't take out the people. We got the ways to do it. We could take out the regime. Anytime you're killing a bunch of dictatorship religious kooks, I have no problem with that. No problem at all. I do have a problem with bombing the crap out of innocent Iranian people, but if you don't take out that regime, they're gonna get run roughshod over by the elite in Iran forever and ever and ever. It's not a great place to live. I'm against the freaking people on the top that are screwing over the masses, no matter where they are. United States, Russia, and Iran. So hey, you know what? We got a sanctioned way we can nail Iran's elite. So no problem. Let's kill them. That's the way I look at it. But she's like, she's acting like it's a big, fun thing. And it's like, ha, 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 ha. This lady never saw any war. She never saw any physical fitness requirements she had to do. She's never been in the military. She's nothing. She's nothing. She's a know-it-all, and she walks around with a chip on her shoulder. And I think the Illuminati are a bunch of dorks for keeping this broad in power. So, now I want to point out something with Obama. Obama, I think, is actually starting to lose the election now. And they just had this debate, and supposedly, they're talking like Romney won on most points of the debate. You know what? It's pretty obvious. Romney is the candidate of the ultra-wealthy in this country in Wall Street. I personally can't stand Romney. I don't like Obama either at all. Actually, if I had to take a choice, it's almost like I take, this is really coming from the words of Pastor Lindsey Williams. Because Pastor Lindsey Williams says that the elite do not like Obama, they're very disappointed in him. That would almost make me want to vote for the guy. But I ain't voting for him, no way in hell. Like I says, I'm voting for Gary Johnson. But you know what? I want people to think. You know what I would do? Say, for instance, I know there's hardcore Obama supporters out there that just can't stand the white establishment in this country. They want a guy that's, more like one of their people. You know what I say? And I'm not saying this for blacks or, well, it could be anybody. It could be somebody that's, but you know what? One guy I respect is Iron Mike Tyson. Why not freaking write him in as a president? The hell with it. The problem is the Illuminati would kill this guy if he actually became president. He would. But this is a guy I respect. It's like, Jesse Ventura or something. You know what I mean? This is a guy I would respect. Obama is a freaking worm. Obama is a pussy whip worm. Basically, he's run by Valerie Jarrett, the high advisor in the White House. He's run by his wife. He's a pussy whipped, errand boy, basically. That's what the hell he is. When we have a president, we can't have an Obama. We can't even have a Ron Paul. He's a wimp, too. You got to have a strong leader. Now, the point is, you got to have a strong leader that is also somebody that's ingrained with the Bill of Rights and protecting the people's rights. It's like you have to have a strong leader, not just a strong leader because there's an emergency out there, but a strong leader that is totally imbued with what the Constitution's about and fully understands what the Bill of Rights is about in particular. But what I would recommend for people is, think independent all the way. If you can't stand Obama, you can't stand Romney, you don't want to vote for Ron Paul, you don't want to vote for Gary Johnson, vote for Mike Tyson. Serious. I'd write this guy in before I'd write in I would vote for Obama or Romney. No way in hell. I just figured Gary Johnson's the only one that's actually going to show up on a board somewhere with maybe getting 1 or 2%. But the problem with the Americans? They get led around by the nose. And, I don't want people getting led around the nose by guys like this guy, General Petrov, because he's a pile of crap, too. He's working for the global mafia. I don't even like using that word, mafia. He's working for the Russian organized crime. They're the biggest crooks in the world. They own every damn thing there is in Russia. And the average hard-working Russian is making less money than people in the United States that aren't doing anything. Period. So, that tells you just how poor that country is and how much wealth is concentrated in the less than 1% of 1% at the top of Russia. Because in Russia, like I said, the most billionaires in the world in one city is in Moscow. But that ain't what happens all over in Russia. They're basically living hand to mouth. Hand to mouth. And this guy's out here criticizing the West. You know what? Cough up some money, General. You're full of it. Go tell Putin, why you're opening your big mouth over here against the West? Go open your big mouth against Putin and tell him to give up some of his $50 billion. You know what? This general would be dead. He'd be dead. So he'd be a skeleton sitting in a prison somewhere. He wouldn't have this round face like he has right now. He'd be all drawn. He'd look like an Auschwitz victim if he started criticizing Putin. Because basically Putin is like the Russian equivalent of Adolf Hitler. And I know we got our freaking idiots in our government. Like what I think is though, when you got an apparition like this lady here, and actually I think she almost got hit in Israel because her convoy got attacked. This was several months ago. I don't know if people saw my update on that, but her convoy got attacked hard, and it was like with machine guns and everything like that. It was ambushed, and it was outside. It was near Tel Aviv, someplace, and nothing happened to her, but the cars got shot and everything like that. But I could have actually been something, because we don't know. They don't care how the war starts. They don't care how the war starts. If she was a sacrifice, just like Christopher Stevens was, like our ambassador to Libya that came from California, so be it. So be it. So but one thing I see about this lady, she's an idiot, because she actually cackles and laughs at the thought of bombing the crap out of Iran. In public, she'll say this right on TV. Ha, ha, ha. She cackled and laughed about Gaddafi getting killed. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. I'm all for freaking knocking out Iran, but I'm not cackling and laughing about it. I would want, when Iran gets hit, it's only the clerics and the religious kooks on the top that are running roughshod over that population. And I would not want to see infrastructure destroyed in Iran that is for civilians, like knocking them out. I would hopefully like to see it just as much as possible, strictly on that regime. Strictly on that regime. And I don't think it's funny. I just think it's necessary. So when I look at this lady, I realize, I think a lot of people on the top are afraid to go up against her. Look what happened to JFK Jr. Oh, circumstantial? I don't know. In my opinion, just my opinion, I think JFK Jr. was killed. I think he was murdered. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm a conspiracy freak. But, somehow it just fits with everything else. And our Illuminati in this country are a bunch of pussy-whipped dorks. That's all I got to say. And I guess this is what you got going on in the United States all over the place. And maybe that's the reason why the whole economy's falling apart. You got a bunch of bureaucrats and pussy-whipped dorks. And they get run roughshod over by little cackling hens like this Hillary Clinton. It's kind of like a reflection of what's going on in the whole United States. I don't know. To me, I say to hell with the bitch. That's the way I look at it. And, I want to get right back to some of the basics on things, because a lot of this stuff has been allowed to go too far. And, we don't get down. We got basically a system in the United States right now that is a bunch of politically correct weasels. afraid to say anything about anything, and I say to hell with that. I say what the hell with that. But let's keep things down to reality. The USA, despite having a bunch of problems with elite on the top and all the one percenters and the 1 basis point people, it's still the best country in the world. It is. It is. You know, the problem is right now is a lot of people just don't have we got the tools to change stuff. We do. We got a lot of freedoms in this country still. I mean, we do. We got the right to say what the hell what I'm saying right now, attacking regimes and attacking Hillary Clinton or whatever the hell it is. If I was in China saying that, I mean, I'd have to be like ready to freaking fight the freaking secret police coming at me. You know what I mean? In the United States, I don't know. Well, maybe it's going to happen that way. I already said it. Too bad. But, in the United States, we got a lot more freedoms than we do than in the rest of the world. You can't be critical of the top leadership in the rest of the world the way you can be critical of the top leadership in the United States. So do recognize that. Do recognize that. So we still do have a lot more freedoms. I just think a lot of people, first, the few people that are waking up are getting behind jerks like General Petrov and stuff like that, and I'm thinking, that is a problem in itself. I would not run from the frying pan into the fire. Not me. Not me. So, but we do have the tools to change things, and I think really a lot of things are very simple. It's a matter of a bunch of little steps. Keep it real all the way. Keep away from the bureaucratic crap. Keep away from the entertainment shit. Keep away from the fluff. We don't need that. Get down to basics. Get down to basics. Even during the Great Depression in the United States, what did people do? They got down to basics. Basics. Which means, what do you need to, get yourself ahead, get things better in your life, and that type of stuff. So not worry about the entertainment and fluff so much. That's actually what it comes down to. And not worry about the collapse. Screw the collapse. Let the collapse happen. Just make sure you got silver and gold. Remember that.